Hi, JD here. Today I'm going to teach you how to fix a broken TMX file. Now this is a really important skill for anybody who's using translation memory tools or any kind of computer-assisted translation tool regularly, because in the course of your work you will come across TMX files that do not work, that are just broken somehow. Something in their code is messed up. And as a translator you need to be able to fix, or at least try to fix, these TMX files so you can keep working. There are probably various ways to do this, but the way I use involves using a software program, a free software program, to find the errors, and then another free software program to actually go in and edit the TMX's code so that I can keep working on my project and keep using this TMX. So let's get started. In order to do that, you're going to want to go ahead and look up maxprograms.com/products/TMXValidator. There we go, I can spell, .html. And this is my TMX validation tool. This will actually tell me what's wrong with my TMX. So go ahead and go over here and click whichever operating system you choose to use. I'm a Windows guy, so I downloaded the Windows version, and press download. Make sure it saves to a location you like. And once you've run the whole installation process, you'll be ready to actually put a TMX in your TMX validator. I'm going to skip this step because I've already done this on my computer. But when you open up your TMX validator, it should look like this. Pretty simple window. You'll put your TMX file right in here, and then you press validate. And we'll do that in a second. But first, I want to direct you to the other program you'll need. That's called Notepad++. Go ahead and go to notepad++.org/downloads. This is a great free code editing tool. I'm going to go to the latest release and download the appropriate file. I've already done this, so go ahead and download it, run the installer, make sure it saves to a location you like, and open that program up as well. So let's get going here. Right now I'm going to take you over to our, so I'm going to go back to Google, just nice little background for us. Then I'm going to take you to our TMX validator. So I'm going to go and find my TMX file that's broken. That's this one right here, HIN pocket. And I'm going to open this file and press validate TMX. And it's going to kick back an error message for me. So this is a really important piece of information. Fatal error means that the TMX file will not run. It's busted. It's not going to work. And 64, this first number here, is going to tell you what line this error is on. You want to take that with a grain of salt because this program is thinking like a computer, and it's telling you as far as it got before it hit an error. It's not always exactly what it says here. And this is supposedly the letter or the character that includes that error. Now, I'm going to show you guys real quick. This is not the case for this particular issue. So let's go ahead and find line 64 of my TMX file. I'm going to open up my Notepad++. I'm going to go here to the open. And I'm going to go to, that's the fixed one, which I've already run through a couple times. I'm going to go here to HIN pocket. That's the original, that's the TMX file we're looking at here. And I'm going to go down to line 64. So here we are at line 64. Now if we go back to our TMX validator, validate this guy again, the error message we got said element TUV must be terminated by end tag /TUV caret. So let's go ahead and look here. On 64, I've got a TU. I actually don't have any TUVs at all on this line. That's interesting. And it looks like my TUV has its matching end tag. I like this program a lot because it'll actually tell you, if I click on this TU, it'll tell me where this segment of code finds its sort of end piece and has its closure. Same here, so this TUV looks good, this TUV looks good, all the TUVs, actually, I've done this, but if you go all the way back up, the whole document to the very beginning, all these TUVs have their matching end tags. So here's where TMX Validator, you might run into some issues. TMX Validator will just tell you where the computer hit an error. It won't necessarily tell you the right error. So looking back down at this line of code, I'm looking at 64. It actually, if you count this, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. It actually doesn't even have 28 characters. Interesting problem, But you might notice this line of code right here has something that's a little different than other lines of code around it. And when you've got a code that has, really patternistic settings like a TMX file, any deviation from the pattern can tell you where there's an error and where this TMX file won't work. And that error is in the second segment file, or second segment line. See how all these other lines of code have seg in them, but they've only got 2 per line. This one has 3. So I'm going to try something. I'm going to go ahead and delete the second seg piece, and I'm going to run my TMXValidator again. Let's see if this tells me what the issue is. Well, first, actually, I do need to go back into my Notepad++ and save the file. Otherwise, the TMXValidator is just going to validate the previous file and it's going to tell me the same error. But now that it's saved, my TMXValidator will pull that file again, the saved version, and I can validate it. Okay, this is good and bad. First, good. This means that I fixed that error because it got through that line of code, it got past line 64, and didn't have any issues. Now the problem is it got down to line 109.5 and says there's a TUV that's missing its end tag. Let's see if we can go find that real quick. Let's go down to 109. Got a TUV that's missing its end tag around here at 109. It actually looks pretty good. All these TUs and TUVs seem to have... well, that's interesting. You see that? See how this TUV has this square box here that tells me this is connected to something? These TUVs are disconnected, and I wonder why that is. Taking a look, it looks like this one is a little different from the other TUVs around it, the other end tags, and that it doesn't have this slash. So maybe if I put a slash in there, there you go. See how that connected it with the TUV before it? And that should satisfy the error message that I was getting in my TMXValidator. Let's go back and double check that error message. Validate it again. Element type TUV must be terminated by matching end tag / TUV. So we're going here, and I've got a TUV, and it doesn't have an end tag. So I throw in that / TUV. Looks like it's got an end tag. Let's save this file and run our validator again. First, I'm going to close out my old fix box, old error message. Let's validate this thing. There you go. So, interesting again. Now this happened to fix my old issue, but didn't fix the new one. So I did fix that old TUV error message, but now it says incorrect source language US. Now, you're probably asking yourself, that doesn't tell you whatever line of code it's hitting, and you're right, it doesn't. I have found that in the past, when it doesn't tell me the error line, it's probably hitting somewhere close to the start. So let's go all the way to the top. It looks like it's got an incorrect language. So all these languages have a locale code and the country, or a language and then the locale code coming after. So English in the United States. I honestly don't know what that is. Probably Hindi in India. Then you've got... yes, those are the locale codes there, most likely. But this guy doesn't look like it's got any issues up at the top. I've got mlang equals English-US. So let's scroll to the end of this code. This is interesting. This US doesn't have an EN in front of it. See how all these other ones have EN-US? Let's go ahead and throw an EN-US and then see if that matches and fixes that TMX error message we were getting earlier. So I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to save my TMX, and I'm going to validate my TMX again. Alright, you can see how this process can go on for a while if your TMX has a lot of issues, and I'm not going to fix all of them for you because you're going to run into new stuff. But a couple key principles to remember here. Once you've got a program that can show you where your errors are, and a program that lets you edit, you're going to want to go through your code, especially if it doesn't actually give you the correct error message, or it doesn't actually target the real problem. You're going to look for any deviation from the pattern, and any kind of syntax that might be missing the proper character or symbol to make this code work. And with some time, some effort, and a little bit of blood, sweat, and tears, I'm sure they'll be able to fix any TMX that you might come across. So anyways, thank you. This is JD again, and I hope you all have a good day fixing your TMX files. Thanks a lot.